Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a very messy desk and probably a page that is not fully visible to you. I have just kind of thrown some things on the desk that I know I want to use, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use them. So this is the photo, and I used a die that is meant for card making, and I kind of cut it and I cut out a bit right here, this leaf, because it kind of covered my face. And not that I mind that, because the main star of this photo is this guy right here. And I'm going to be using, it's going to be my page, I intend for my page to be sort of monochromatic other than that bright red shirt. So we'll see how that goes. First thing I'm going to do is color in a few of these circles on this. This is a Donna Downey stencil, and I'm using speckled egg because it most closely resembles the colors that are in the Spectrum Sherbet line that I'm using. And this is all going on the page, and I cut this out of Spectrum Sherbet, so we shall see how this works out. Now, some of these will be very subtle, and I'm not going to do them all. I'm thinking that the photo is going to go sort of right there. Maybe here. And I've got these triangular sections kind of pointing to it. So I guess I can do this guy and this, and like maybe 3 right here, and maybe 3 there, maybe 3 right there. And I have no idea what that's going to look like, but I know that wherever I have put color through the stencil, I'm going to go back. Okay, it's perfect because it's there are different levels of intensity of the color, so that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, now I'm going to stamp with the same ink using these stamps from Visible Image. And let me get a block that's the right size. I'll do that. And I'm going to go outside the lines on some and inside the lines on others. Okay, so I've got that, and now I'm going to, and this is the stamp set from Visible Image. It's called Rays of Light. So I'm going to put that back in there, and that's the only size I'm going to use from that set. I'm mainly kind of setting that up to be backgrounds for some of this. Well, let's arrange things. I think that's going to be my title. I kind of want this sun ray to show. And I've got, and this is going to cross over that. I've got this. I probably need to move this over. Here and here. I'm going to change out this pink for a red. I'm sure I have a red one in here somewhere. Yes, I do. So I'm going to go in with that. And what I've done is I cut these out of the sunray paper. I don't know if I have it. Here's what's left of it. I cut out these three, and I kind of fussy cut around the edges and then distress them, and then put foam behind them. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to let this cover those. So I'm going to put these on first. Should have done that in the first place. And it's going to make it a little bit, it's going to tell me where I can put where I can put some of these rub-ons. Let's see, I think I have my rub-on rubber here, my rub-on applicator, I do. Let me put these back over here. And so that one is on. And then I want this one kind of going like that. Yeah, that works. And then together can maybe go right across that sunburst. So let's see how this works. I had in mind a smaller photo, but then when I decided to use that die cut, it kind of okay. So now I'm going to put foam on the part that doesn't touch, you know, go over the arrows. There. And then I'll kind of start building things. I think I want it a little bit more in there. And then I've got this, which I think I'm going to cut in half because I hate using a whole one if half of it is hidden. And I love these things. So that works. Let me put a little glue on it. Again, I'm trying to get the embellishments on there so that I know where I can put some and I want to turn this a little. I'm going to angle it in. Oh, come on. There we go. And together, I'm going to lift up a little bit on some foam. Put a little bit right there. And a little bit right there. Why not? I'm going to put this aside so I don't knock it off the table. I'll center it under the photo and let the designs go there. Okay, now what I thought I would do is put this big rub-on kind of right back there. And so I'm going to cut as many of the little splattery dots as I can. And we'll see how that works. Whoops, pulled the wrong piece. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm losing my little hearts. I need to glue those down. I'll do that next. But I'm anxious to do this. I can't, to be honest, I can't wait to see how this looks. Okay, and let me put this back in here. And that's going to partly overlap that inked part, the inked area. And it will partly be on the white. And I'm gonna basically try to kind of do some rub-ons on all of those, in essence kind of making my own pattern paper background after the fact. Oops. Gotta get that down. Didn't rub those things very well. Okay, so I kind of like that. Let's get this stuff down. I just want these things kind of going along, and they're going to be the basis of my three. I'm going to move it up here, and it's not photographs, it is photograph. So I'm gonna do the heart over on the end of the word, kind of over that S. There we go. And then best ever, it was the best ever vacation for sure. And I'm going to put this heart over on this end, and I'm going to kind of load it up with glue down that way and let it kind of lean down on the paper. That's pretty much setting up there. And then this says good times, and I'm going to let that be right there. And I've got 3 different colors in that, the cool color line of Spectrum Sherbet. And then I've brought in hearts from the warm line. Okay, so I've got that there. I thought I might do this piece or this piece right here. This piece could be there, and now I wish I hadn't put that down. Can I take it out? I cannot. So it'll just have to be whatever it is. I will kind of, let me see if I can get a smaller piece that could maybe of course, I don't want any of the rub-on to go on that. But how about if I just did this one kind of out here? Away from it. Let me get that. I do want the grid to line up parallel to the sides of the paper. Okay, and where's my applicator? Here we go. So I've done some of my own mixed media, and then I'm going to do some of Katie Pertit's mixed media on here. And I'm going to do this in one more place. Okay, I thought I'd do some right over in here somehow, and maybe here's where I could use that. Actually, I want to do something different, something with text. How about this bit kind of right there? Or even better, I could kind of do that. Let's do this because the color is a little bit different from the mixed media, from the ink that I did, so it'll show up better. Okay, let's do it kind of like that. Is that squared? I hope so, because it's on there. And this is for, and you knew this because of the graphic, but it's for around the world. And it's a true, one of my favorite travel photos of all time, or one of my favorite travel memories of all time. This is it's actually a terrible photo of me. I'm just kind of rubbing some bits around. And I want to do a kind of a subtitle up here. I called the album, when I scrapped this trip, I called the album Valley High because it was a South Pacific cruise. And Valley High is just a beautiful song from the musical South Pacific. So I kind of thought that was appropriate. And I found this alpha that I hadn't used much of, and it came from a Mind the Scrap kit a while back. And so it's fair game for being in my Scrap Backwards kit, although a lot of this Spectrum Sherbet did not come from a kit. And I'm really, other than, let's see, where's my, I've lost my pen again, but I will find it. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time looking for it. I'll just give it a once over here. That's a drawback. I need to get about 10 of those pins. And I'm always sweeping things onto the floor from my desk here, so. Sometimes it sticks to bits of adhesive that I have around. Okay, and I'll put that aside, and I'm still worried about this. I do have another pin that I got out of my sewing box that isn't quite as long, but oddly enough, I know where that is, so maybe I ought to put these in the same place I put that one, so I'll do that. And now what I want to do is complete these little bits so that it looks like I've got a, I don't know if I can fit in any flare. I was thinking of doing an orange or red piece right there, and I'm looking for something that okay, there, the red just kind of on top of there, and maybe I could use this leaf. with it. Let's see. I may just use that one flare because it's a different color than what you'd expect, but it does go with his shirt. And with that heart. So I'm gonna kind of work that in there somehow. Let's go with this. I'm gonna hold that in my hand so that I don't put it down somewhere. And I'm gonna bend the leaf. It has these die cuts have nice seams kind of embossed or cut out of them so that you can do that. And let's see if I have any little, I have this kind of yellow one to go right there. And I can do a pink one here and a dark blue one. Maybe right there, and a kind of taupe colored one. I'm hesitating to actually call it brown. Let's do this. I kind of don't know where to put that, actually. It needs to be, these are my 3 elements. I'm going to add some sequins, but I don't want this directly below that. And I can't turn that anymore. So let me put those up. And I will pull my random color sequins and see what I can get that works with these things. And I will do a few over here. Kind of going for some fairly big ones because I usually reach for the small. It's always nice to mix some in. And that just kind of really pops out of the background being the kind of the monochromatic cool side. It adds some warmth. Well, I guess I close that up. And okay, and then here I'm going to go 1 and 1 up there. And let me see if I can find all those dots with sequins. Now that I've got them in there. So let's do this big one right here. And I'll take another big one and put it right there. Take a smaller yellow, kind of put it here. I'm just going to spread these around. wherever there needs to be a sequin. And that would be wherever I put a dot of glue. Okay, that had a bit of sequin smursh. I'll press it in and it should stay. And there, I kind of like this little tiny green one. And since the scale of this is smaller, I'm going to go with the small sequins. I'm going to take this really tiny aqua one and just add it right there. Okay, and now I've got a yellow that can go here. And I'm going to go for something. I've already put one of those there. Let's go for a pink. Why don't we? There are not very many pinks in here. So let's do that one. Now I have 1, 2, 3 more to go and we're done. And I'll do that little tiny one, and then I'll do a tiny bright colored one right there. And now I'm going to do a green, fairly large, right there. And let's see if I can do it, find another pink one. Ooh, there's a pretty pink one. And it's kind of large. I think I need a smaller pink. And hopefully there's enough glue left. And I'm not happy with the placement there. This little tiny one doesn't show up. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Those just kind of look stacked. They don't look random or like a trailing look. Like this one is the one I like the best. There, and then I want a fairly vivid one that will show up down here that'll guide your eye there. And then we can do I've already used one of those. Let's go for a, we can use one of the, I'm overthinking this. This one. Down there. And I think I've got all on there that I want. I will add, let's see, I can get a black pen and do that. I might write it inside these guys. I can say Bora Bora, January 2015. And the last thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of glue right there to hold that down. Okay, so that's it. I'm pretty happy with it. I could maybe use a few more of these random dots here. Dots and splotches, dotty splotches, maybe. Like right here. How about here? Okay, I think I'm going to call it done. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out everybody else who's taking you around the world on this wonderful hop, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.